Yeah, partner, I suppose where to start. Wally, you were born on the 22nd of September 1965, the same year as me, just a couple of months later. Our paths crossed many years ago, and by the way, as you can see, this is your boma, your fire, your place of happiness, where many discussions were had. Most certainly for me, I most certainly feel extremely privileged to have been a part of those discussions. But this was your happy place, in front of a fire. And yes, it is not Pilansberg, it's not the Kruger, it's not Mabua Suhubi. It's most certainly just at my house. But it was an incredible journey. I think, you know, I've had much time to reflect since your passing on Wednesday, the 23rd of October, a day before Shane, your brother's birthday. If I had to think of all the fun times we've shared, I think, you know, there are so many names, and I hesitate to name names because, quite honestly, for fear of leaving somebody out, which you most certainly shared the name with me, and today, for whatever reason, I don't remember. You shared so many stories with me, with yourself and Val in your 1400 at that stage, Datsun Bucky, how you took the engine out, you redid the engine, put it back in the car, because in those days money was tight. I often recall, most certainly, Johan, and I don't, his surname doesn't come to me now, but most certainly I know he's also not well at this stage. And you know, Johan and yourself used to go to these various venues. I remember one time at Marivale, where quite honestly the water stank like hell, you know, and yourself and Johan, not you, but most certainly Johan, you sent Johan in, and Johan was a bit lighter than you, and so he wouldn't most certainly sink all the way to the bottom, as you always used to tell me, but most certainly Johan cleaned out all the reeds so that we could really take top pictures at Marivale. I just remember so often when we got to the point to take pictures, that white Prado used to arrive at my gate. We sort of settle on a time for 3:30 in the morning, and lo and behold, 3:15, you know, your Prado was here. You were never ever late, and most certainly there's nobody in the world that could ever say that Wally Tollemache was late for anything. And so even in your passing, everything was on time, Wally. You know, you went peacefully. You went most certainly in a lot of pain, but you went peacefully. Seeing you afterwards just gave me this amazing feeling of relaxation, of somebody without stress, without pain, without without anything. And yeah, I would just say it was for me a great goodbye to see you as peaceful as you were. I think most certainly what all of us will miss is, man, you, television, YouTube, improvements on Photoshop, you were one. You would hear of something and you would be straight onto whichever forum and you would send that news to me. Often you said to me that, partner, it's easy. It's just 3 clicks and you're done. And you know, Photoshop was not something I suppose I ever wanted to learn, but if I needed to do something urgently, it was on the phone. You would be driving to Macro, or you would be driving to any other place for that matter. And yeah, it was, you would, without having any computer in front of you, you would tell me, click here, click there, and it was done. It was just flipping amazing. I think a name that comes to me more often than not is Eric Bosman. You know, Eric and you also come amazing time back. A guy like Piet Taljaard, I heard so much about him the night you guys broke down, and the one guy that you had to phone at night and did phone is Piet Taljaard, and he left everything and he just came to your rescue and really, yeah, he did everything. For perhaps your friends on Facebook, sorry to bore you guys, but this is something I really felt I had to do. Each one of you was special. When you went down to the coast, Body was like the man, and it was so nice hearing stories about Body. I've never met Body, but most certainly after your passing, you know, Body phoned me, and we had a long discussion about you, and yeah, the fond memories that Body shared with me were amazing. For the life of me, I cannot remember now. Sorry, I didn't prepare for this. But there's another lady as well that's down there on the south coast. When you went down to your house at Chili Beach, it was amazing. And yeah, the doctors gave you 3 years, huh? And hell, did you prove them wrong? I think your will to live, your will to make others happy, your will to just do everything positive is an amazing tribute to anybody who knew you. SAF MPC, I remember there was an event, and straight away you said, I'm in, and you managed to get us all caps, nice green reflective caps with the SAF MPC logo on it. And Wally, you touched everyone. Often, although we are big friends, often when you met people, I took a step backwards, because for me to be involved where you had so many people idolize you for the wonderful person you were. I think if I look at your Facebook post, we all know that for you in COVID, as is the nature of the beast, you most certainly never went to lie down. You bought a tremendous amount of equipment. yes, of course, privileged to be in that position, but you didn't buy it because you could. You bought it because you want to really discover something new. The devotion that you had to astrophotography, the friends you made in the astrophotography world. One of them actually posted on your Facebook now that you have left us, and I would expect no other post. I think every person that got to know Wally Tollemache, whether it was Wally Tollemache or Wally, or in my case, I knew about this Wally guy that really had this amazing setup at Zubulo, and it took me a long time to find. And as I sit here today, and I still wonder, you know, how did we actually meet? You know, Wally, I honestly cannot be honest and say to you, this is exactly where we met. I think we met a long time ago. We have traveled so many places. We have traveled to Juma. We have traveled to Kruger. We've traveled to Kgalagadi in 2021 with Shane and Marie and Valerie and Elmarie. And remember in those days, hell, I just remember how flipping cold I got. You know, and yeah, it was an amazing trip. I remember Shane. We always used to ask Shane, so what did you photograph today? And Shane said, not much. And we said, okay, but show us. And there he comes with a picture which 99% of photographers will love. And that is where a leopard had a bat-eared fox in his mouth. I mean, again, for Shane, you know, who's been by your side whenever he could, Dougie. I mean, Dougie and his wife in the Kruger now. Recently, I think it was either this year or last year, to tell you the truth, I don't remember. I just remember we were all together. For Alistair, that went fishing with us at Loskop Dam one night. Yeah, I mean, Walter, gee, Matthew, you know, each of the two of them have, as your sons, the most unique personality. You never ever saw one better than the other. And then, yeah, to come to Valerie, I think that's a tough one for me. I think Valerie gave her all to you as a person, to the family as a family, and you never used to talk about your pain. You and I had this wonderful agreement to say, and I got phoned by many people, many photographers who knew that you and I are good friends. And our agreement was very simple. Whatever we know that you have cancer, we know that you're not well, but whatever you wish to share with me, you share. And if you don't, that's also fine. I was never there to interrogate your life, and most certainly the last couple of weeks, I got almost a daily reply of, partner, we had a tough night. It was a lot of pain, lack of sleep, and Valerie rubbed my back until I fell asleep. So Valerie, yeah, you're the queen of all queens. I think for Wally, for us who knew Wally, we knew that life and what you gave up as a person is beyond the expectation of anybody, and you guys lived that out till death do us part, and can be most certainly an amazing example for anybody. As I've always said, Wally was a very driven guy. not was, probably still is up in heaven even. And, you know, God help the people up there, because I'm sure he's arranging their lives accordingly, not in a bad way, but in a very good way. But most certainly, Wally was not always the easiest of person, simply because some people didn't agree with the way that he wanted things done. He knew how he wanted things done. And Val, gee, the way you answered everything. I mean, I still remember so many trips that Wally and I went on. 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, you would be there. You would be up. You have made us coffee. You have packed a snack bag. You have done everything to just make everything that we did so comfortable and so amazing. And today we should celebrate Wally Tollemache. I think Wally wants all of us to celebrate his life and what he could do for other people. Wally doesn't want us to celebrate Wally Tollemache. And I think, friends, Facebookers alike who are listening to this, Wally Tollemache did everything for everybody and expected nothing back from us. If I think how many times Wally went to, because he loved auctions. In the time of COVID, in the South Coast, they had online auctions, and there were so many times when Wally would say to me, "I bought this and this and this, and I bought it for Dougie, or I bought it for Shane, or I bought it for this person, I bought it for that person." It was never, "I bought something for Wally Tollemache." I think in closing, because I could actually ramble on all night long, I think, Wally, this boma is for you. We shared so many discussions around the boma fire. Something which you enjoyed in life is to be out there. Before your passing, even when I left to Kruger, I saw you on the Tuesday night. I left Thursday for work in the Kruger, and it was 3 days of a management meeting, 3 days of a conference, and then I came home, and on that day you passed. I was sadly 10 minutes late, which I've thought about, and I said, it doesn't help to have all of these silly discussions about why I was 10 minutes late. Yes, there can be many reasons. The bottom line is, I know that Wally, in terms of the ethic that he had and the way he did things, he would have wanted me to stay down where I was for the purpose of work, and would never have expected me to have come back earlier. So Wally Tollemache, we salute you forever. Yeah, sorry guys, it's a tough one. Wally, we salute you forever. You were just somebody who changed so many people's lives. I don't come on her name now, I feel so bad. But your secretary that you had in Zabula, man, if I had to come and visit you, which I think only happened once or twice, because I don't believe it, visiting people at their place of work. Suri was her name. Yeah, Suri cared for me like a king. So most certainly how she cared for you, I'm sure was better. Suri, we all miss him. Val, Matthew, Walter, Dougie, Alistair, Shane, the wives, everybody that knew him, the kids. I think, you know, I've left it for last because it was that important to Wally. Julie, Alison, and then Wally's shining light in life was Jared. Jared, whether Jared played rugby, whether Jared rode, whether Jared played games, whether Jared did whatever. Jared, thank you. There were so many times that you made sure that when Auntie Val wasn't around, that you made sure that Wally, as young as you were, you made sure that Wally drank his tablets at the time that Wally had to drink his tablets. Young man, you've got a bright future. Alison, you have a bright future. Between the two of you, look after each other. Wally loved all of you tremendously, and he loved his family more than anybody else. And I want to say to you, where he's resting tonight, he's at peace. He's got no pain, he's calm, he's peaceful, he's probably flipping, telling everybody, if you've never heard about birding, let me tell you that this particular bird will be in that bush singing that noise. And to that effect, there might be new birds in heaven, species which we don't know about. But he most certainly, within being there for a week or 2 weeks, he'll know. So guys, thank you if you managed to listen through everything. Wally Tollemache, you were a flipping legend. And we who had the time with you, we were the privileged ones. There was no privilege from your side. We had all the privilege. And we thank you, we love you, and all of us on earth will be fine. I know that we will take our various trips. We head off to Namibia in December. I bought today. The last time you were able to drink anything was in 2021. Not that you ever were a drinker, but most certainly you had a top-class gin in Maxi Fly, if I remember the name right, and you had a honey whiskey from one of the whiskey brands. And yeah, I would just like to say that's going with me in December. It will not be touched till December, and it's going to be an amazing trip, knowing that my partner is watching over me. I already feel so much safety and so much love even before departing in December to go on a trip of 3 weeks into Namibia. I'm sure Val and the family will be down the coast. I'm very sure where you are now at the moment, you split yourself in two, and most certainly we will all be safe. On Thursday morning this week, I heard some footsteps in my lounge. I woke up 4 o'clock. I stood there for a while, heard no more footsteps, made coffee, sat down, had my cup of coffee, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I heard footsteps in the study. I made a fact that I was not going to look, because I knew that those footsteps, I believe, were you. Partner, thank you. Thank you for everything, and we are